Narrate this in a low, resonant rasp like a rusty lock yielding after centuries, with keyturn SFX grinding on twists, faint chain rattle echoes for tension, and AI visuals of the key's iron shaft piercing shadows, doors creaking open to fractured family portraits, secrets spilling like sand from hourglasses across sepia attics and modern vaults. I was forged in the sooty bellows of a Sheffield smithy in the frostbitten dawn of 1652, hammered from meteor-fallen iron that hummed with starlit curses, my bow etched with a thorned rose by master locksmith Elias Blackwood, whose anvil rang like judgment bells for Cromwell's clippers, crafted as a skeleton key for the Hawthorne vault in Warwickshire's woe-dyed manors, where Puritan parson Reginald Hawthorne claimed me for his tithe chest, his gaunt fingers turning me first at All Hallows Eve in the chapel crypt where candles guttered like guilty consciences, murmuring psalms that twisted to treason. Key, unlock not just ledgers but the lie, the tithes fund not the poor, but Parliament's pikes. Hold this door's dark bargain, lest the blade finds my neck, and oh, how I did, my wards absorbing the weight of his whispered pact with royalist smugglers in 53's interregnum shadows. Reginald's confessional creak to the vault's oak, the Lord sees, but you, iron sentinel, seal the sin, gold for the Stuarts, blood on my hands, my teeth biting silent into the lock as his riches rusted with regret, through protectorate purges when spies slunk the shires, Reginald's midnight monologues at my bow. Key, if death do us part the door, let no air turn your truth. But death parted him in 59's restoration revels, hanged at Tyburn for popish plots that were Puritan pelf. His widow Beatrice unearthing me from the chest with trembling hands, her widow's weeds whispering to my shaft, husband's secret key, know my sorrow's skeleton, and lock it from the bailiffs, fleeing to a Cornish cottage where she pawned the tithes for passage to Boston Bay in 61, me tucked in her bodice like a beating heart, crossing me to the new world's threshold in a salt-crusted hold, her first American entry. Key, you've held English aches, now hold this exile's hope, and I held through her remarriage to shipwright Josiah in 64, his callous grip on my bow at the blockhouse altar. B, this iron unlocks our covenant, no ghosts in the grain, but ghosts grated in 70's Quaker quarrels, Josiah's smuggling ledgers, Puritan echoes, confided in my wards during witch trial whispers, wife, the key knows the cargo's curse. Rum for the redcoats, not the flock, seal it, or Salem's noose next. Beatrice's retort in the loft's lantern light, husband, the door's dark as thy deeds, turn honest, or turn alone. Through son Elias's 72 birth amid Boston tea's tempest, the boy fingering my thorned rose by heathfire, mama's mystery key, open tales of the old world. Beatrice passing me to him at 18 in 90's frontier fevers, Elias, you've held the house's hinge, now hinge your harvest from this iron inheritance, his young hands turning me in the plowshed shadows, mother's talisman, know my soil's secrets, and till them true. But the revolution's rumble in 76 rattled my wards, Elias enlisting with Minutemen, his fife case hiding me. Key, unlock liberty's lock. But lock the loyalist gold I smuggled from Josiah's hold, his confession in valley. Forge's frost, the doors dark with desertion dollars, for the cause, or cowardice, surviving Saratoga to return in 83, wedding milliner Abigail, her lace-gloved fingers on my bow, Elias, this keys are quilting, no rents in the revolution. And I held their pact through daughter Mercy's 85 cries and Shay's rebellion rents in 87, Abigail's whispers in the spinning wheels were, husband, the key knows thy Tory tides, weave them into wool for the wee ones, Elias's vow at my turn. Wife, the iron absolves, or accuses eternal, passing me to Mercy at her 05 Haverhill hearth, the girl at 20 tracing my etchings amid embargo's empty nets, Papa's puzzle key, know my needle's narratives, and thread the trade's tangles, her marginalia in sampler silks during War of 1812's coastal chills. Key, unlock the privateer's prize. British bolt for our bread, but bolt the blockade's bite. Confiding in 15's Hartford Convention hush, the doors dark with disunion dollars, for family, or fracture, surviving to wed Cooper Caleb in 18's rushlight right, his mallet-scarred hand on my shaft. Mercy, this key Cooper our casks, no leaks in love's lock, but leaks lapped in 24's canal fevers. Caleb's bribes to surveyors hissed through my wards. Wife, the Erie cuts costs, but the key cuts consciences. Mercy's retort in the cooperage gloom. Husband, the door's debt deepens, damn it or drown, through son Josiah's 26th birth and 37's panic pangs. Mercy winding me through widowhood when Caleb cracked in cholera, her soliloquy to my bow. Key, you've held Hawthorne hordes from England to Erie, Now hold this orphan's oath. Passing me to Josiah at 21 in 47's Mexican marches. The boy at 22 with musket in one hand and my chain in the other. Mama's malediction key. Know my company's curses, and key the conquest quiet. His letters from Buena Vista blood, the iron nose. The Alamo's avarice, gold grabbed for glory's ghost. Surviving Chapultepec to return in 49. Wedding seamstress Lydia in a gold rush glow. Her thimble tapping my teeth. Josiah, this keys are quilts. No phrase in the frontier. And I held through daughter Abigail's 51 coups and 56's bleeding Kansas broils. Lydia's whispers in the Saudi shadows. Husband, the key knows thy Jayhawk jades. Raid for reform, or revenge? Josiah's vow at my turn. Wife, the doors dark as Dakota debts. Debt paid in blood or ballots. Passing me to Abigail at her 70 Chicago flat. The girl at 20 fingering my rose in the fire's flicker. Papa's portent key, know my city's clamor, and calm the calamity. Her entries in ledger lace during 73's panic. Key, unlock the rail baron's bribes. For the fair, or the filthy, confiding in 79's Haymarket hush. The door's dynamite deepens, defuse, or detonate, surviving to wed railman. Reuben in 82's iron horse hum, his grease-black hand on my bow. Abigail, this key rails are rails. No derail in destiny, but derails deepened in 93's Pullman strikes. Reuben's union oaths hissed through my wards. Wife, the key knows the sabotage, for solidarity or spite. Abigail's retort in the Caboose Creek. Husband, the door's discord deafens. Derail the devil, or drive on. Through son Elias's 95 birth and 07's panic plunges. Abigail winding me through widowhood when Reuben rusted in red ink. Her soliloquy to my shaft. Key, you've held Hawthorne hordes from vaults to vestibules. Now hold this heir's enigma. Passing me to Elias at 18 and 13's doughboy drafts. The lad at 19 with helmet in one hand and my fob in the other. Mama's mystery key, know my muse Argonne mud, and key the Kaiser's KRYPT. His gas mask murmurs from Argonne's mire. The iron knows the armistice avarice. Truces traded for treaties treason. Surviving psalm to return in 19. Wedding flapper Florence in a phonograph parlor. Her beaded hand on my bow. Elias, this keys are Charleston. No Charleston in chance. And I held through daughter Mercy's 21 jazz. Florence's whispers in the speakeasy smoke. Husband, the key knows thy bootleg bribes. Boot the Volstead, or bootleg the blues? Elias's vow at my turn. Wife, the doors dark as depression debts. Debt danced away, passing me to Mercy at her 40 Hollywood hope chest. The girl at 19 tracing my etchings amid studio spotlights. Papa's puzzle key, know my silver screen's shadows, and screen the scandals. Her marginalia in script scraps during 29's crash. Key, unlock the mayor memos. For the marquis, or the mob, confiding in 35's Hayes Code hush. The door's debauchery deepens. Censor, or celebrate, surviving to wed Gripman Gus in 45's Technicolor triumph. His cable-scarred hand on my shaft. Mercy, this key grips our reels. No cuts in the climax, but cuts carved in 55's blacklist bites. Gus's commie confessions hissed through my wards. Wife, the key knows the whack handouts. For the house, or the hearings? Mercy's retort in the backlit gloom. Husband, the door's dossier darkens. Door the denials, or deliver. Through son Josiah's 57 birth and 68's counterculture clashes. Mercy winding me through widowhood when Gus gunned in Griffith Park. Her soliloquy to my bow. Key, you've held Hawthorne hordes from hearths to Hollywood. Now hold this starlet's sting. Passing me to Josiah at 21 and 78's disco drafts. The boy at 22 with script in one hand and my chain in the other. Mama's malediction key, know my multiplex mysteries. And key the Klieg lights, his clapperboard confessions from Can Coast. The iron knows the indie intrigues. Deals done in darkness for Dawn's dailies. Surviving Sundance to return in 85. Wedding producer Paula in a rap party. Whirl, her clapper hand on my bow. Josiah, this keys are cuts. No final cut in fate. And I held through daughter Abigail's 87 coups and 92's LA riots rumble. Paula's whispers in the editing bay. Husband, the key knows thy Harvey handshakes. Hand the harassment, or hold the horror? Josiah's vow at my turn. Wife, the doors dark as digital debts. Debt directed to daylight. Passing me to Abigail at her 05 Sundance flat. The girl at 18 fingering my rose in the laptop glow. Papa's portent key, know my streaming scripts and script the scandals. her entries in code scraps during 08's crash. Key, unlock the Uber memos, for the upload, or the underbelly, confiding in 15's hashtag MeToo hush, the Doors dossier deepens, decrypt, or delete, surviving to wed coder Caleb in 18's cloud write, his keyboard calloused hand on my shaft, Abigail, this key codes are commits, no bugs in the bond, but bugs burrowed in 22's crypto collapse, Caleb's blockchain bribes hissed through my wards, wife, the key knows the NFT nods, for the node, or the noose? Abigail's retort in the server room, husband, the Doors debt decentralizes, door the deceit, or distribute, through son Elias's 24 birth and 25's AI audits, Abigail winding me through widowhood when Caleb crashed in code, her soliloquy to my bow, key, you've held Hawthorne hordes from hearths to hyperlinks, now hold this hacker's heirloom, and on this October 19, 2025, as autumn algorithms audit the attic, Elias at one fingering my etchings in the flats flicker, Mama's mystery key. Open the door to tomorrow's tales, Abigail confiding over chai in the dawn's data stream, iron, from Reginald's tithe treason to Caleb's crypto curse. You've held the family's darkest door, turning me one last time with tears tracing my thorned rose, to the boy, this key knows your kin's knots, unlock with wonder, not woe. And as the lock clicks crystalline through the house's hush, echoing from Blackwood's bellows to Abigail's bite, I gleam eternal, my wards warding not just vaults but the veiled vows that vault our vanities, for keys like me aren't just openers but oracles, turning not just tumblers but the tangled truths that tumble our timelines, unlocking eternal one etched entry at a time.